Hello, everyone. Welcome, NFA Mamas, to another Biz Breakdown session on the Woman Entrepreneur Podcast. Psyched to have you here today. And this is really fun. I have a really close friend, I'd say colleague, friend, acquaintance, a woman that I met in the DeMartini world. And you all know how much I love DeMartini work and how much his stuff integrates into all the things that I do. And so we go way back really to the beginning of my journey, even when I was on food stamps. And so, we've hung out over the years, and she has her own business. So she's on today for a Biz Breakdown session, and you're going to get the lowdown of her business. We're going to dive into helping her scale. She's going to, of course, bring you her conversation about how she is growing her business, where her stuck points are to help you all out. And then you're going to get an opportunity to connect with her sharing her places where she lives and lives and breathes on the interwebs. So welcome to the show today for a Biz Breakdown session, Linda.
Thank you, Amanda. I really appreciate it. Really looking forward to this. As you mentioned, we've known each other for a minute and we speak the same languages. So I love it. I'm on board.
So it's
nervous.
So cool.
I'm a little nervous.
Are you nervous? Don't be nervous. Tell me what you're nervous about. I would love to know.
I get nervous when it comes to with my business, like where I'm not, it's like my baby. So I feel like, we're gonna, it's like opening the doors to where I don't want people to see, or I'm like, that's not perfect, or that's not where I want it to be, It's just being vulnerable.
Yeah.
I trust you. So it's all good.
Well, first let's say thank you for coming on, because you're right. I think it's scary to expose any places where we feel like we might have stuck points or weak points, or where it's not exactly as you have it in your mind to be. So thank you for coming on. It really helps everybody here. And it's awesome. I love that you're saying this, because I have, a lot of the ways that I attract people to do these Biz Breakdown sessions is through conversations on Instagram. And it's people who don't know me at all, of course. So they just get to know me through listening to podcast episodes, and then they become more comfortable over time, I'd say. And I hear that people go, but I'm really nervous to come on. And I'm like, oh, don't be. And I also get it, right? It's like, it's scary to reveal your vulnerable soft spots.
It is. It is. But what I have noticed lately, like just a lot of, not just celebrities, like just everything, a lot of influencers, a lot of coaches just being a lot more vulnerable. It's really hard because I've been in the industry for such a long time, and that was never like, you don't show that the weak points, because it would destroy your credibility for so long.
Yeah.
So to see it's now changing, and you could see the revolutionizing of that, or the evolution of that. And it's interesting. So I'm exposing myself.
I'm with you. I get it. It's interesting. I always listen to podcast episodes of mine to get better at it. And this morning I was listening to this week's release, and then because it was over, it skipped to like one that I did a couple years ago. And I was like, whoa, it was just, it was interesting to hear my softness and the vulnerability in it, because I was sharing the entrepreneurial roller coaster ride. And it was like, it's real. Like, no one's perfect. We have ups and downs. If you're pretending that you don't, you're full of shit. It'd be impossible to have that. You couldn't grow if you never fell down. And I think what you choose to share as a quote unquote thought leader or expert, that it does feel scary. You're like, what if I say this and people don't respect me anymore, or they don't think I'm credible, and so, thank you for coming on. And I like to share too. We'll dive into all of our soft spots today.
Good time.
Yeah. Hey, come on, let's reveal your soft spots. All right, let's start with this, and we'll dig into all fun things about your business. If I could give you a magic wand and say, like, hey, at the end of 2023, this is what you've created with this magic wand in your business, what would that be?
It would definitely be more income through my business. 100%. I do have a side job, so I would love to just focus 100% on my business. So that means for 2023, I'm looking at doing some groups. I want to do more one-on-one coaching packages with clients. I want to get new clients. I want to incorporate, I don't know if 2023 is going to be the year where I have retreats. I would like it to be. I also know that I love to put a lot of stuff on my plate.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that'll be 23 or 24.
Okay.
VIP intensives and really traveling either with or for my clients. That would be great.
Okay.
And some speaking engagements. I love speaking. So that would just be like an extra bonus.
Okay. Okay. So a lot of things.
Just everything, that I could have.
Yeah, we're gonna dig into that. I want to point something out that you said that I think is so freaking awesome. Instead of saying you have a side hustle with a job, you said you have a side job.
Yeah,
which is cool.
It's funny. It's funny because I do it, and I'm like, some people have it as a career, and I'm like, well, this is kind of like my third career. And people ask me, what did you do before? I'm like, I still do it, and it's really my business. So when I'm in that, when I have that hat on, and I love it. And it's actually allowed me to do more of this because, as we know, in the DeMartini world, I looked at my business, my income in 2018, and I thought, well, okay, where's my money going? And I thought, oh, it's going towards this. Okay, well, how do I get paid for that? And that's really how it became, a job.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And so right now, how many hours a week do you spend on your business, would you say?
That's a great question. Let me think about it, because it changes. When you have your own business and you have an office in your own home, it's like, okay, how many hours am I actually spending? So I'd say about a good 10 to 15, depending on the week.
Okay. And is that based on like with your, quote unquote job? And like, is it full-time job or part-time job?
So I'm a flight attendant. So it's every week is different. There's some weeks where I'm going to be flying maybe 5 or 6 of those 7 days, where it might be like 4 in the front, and then 1 on the end.
Yeah.
That 7 week, or sometimes it's 2, and then I have 5 days where I'm at home. So it fluctuates, which I think is really a lot harder with the business.
I was thinking about that, how you create stability with really clients and schedule. Yeah.
Really challenging. I can have a client while I'm away. Obviously, it could be in my hotel room, or I can meet with a client if I'm in their city. However, that doesn't always work out.
Yeah.
Because most of the time I come home, or if had a really long day of flying, and I'm just exhausted.
Yeah.
I can't even think about my business. And if I do, it's like maybe a little brainstorming, or I got enough to post. So it's really planning ahead. I'm noticing now with like posts or writing things, I'm trying to be consistent. I'm trying to find how can I be consistent right now?
Yeah. Okay. It gives me and everyone listening a good picture. And I'm sure a lot of people resonate because, whether it's like our job or kids or family that keeps things fluctuating. Right. I've met with a guy recently who he has a week on, week off job. And same thing, he's going like, how do I create stability with this schedule? So one thing I'm questioning, when you say you in 2023, more income through the business, would this be a situation where it's your dream to leave your job and only do business?
Right. This job allows me to, like right now, it's fluctuated because of, thank you, San Corona, where when I had like 6 months off and it was perfect. So with this job now, we're back to the point where I can drop my work days. So if I get to the income point that I want or that I need, then I can drop my flights so that I'm able to just give myself more hours at home.
Okay.
However, now that's not, the income is helping to be sustainable, consistent income is helping.
I see. Okay. So that's good that you have flexibility in how many flights you schedule.
Correct.
So it's not like hey, you've got to be here these number of days.
As of right now, which that wasn't the case last year.
Yeah. Okay. So you're in a new frontier in a certain way. Okay. So then what would your ideal be? Would it be like flying once a month, or would it be
flying maybe once a month, if that?
Okay. So you would be
once
willing to
every
let
other
it go.
month.
You could let it go altogether.
Yeah, there is no minimum amount of hours that I need to fly.
Okay.
Grateful.
That's amazing. That is pretty amazing,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is
Okay. So we
really-
really want to generate new income. So here's an interesting thing, for you and everyone listening, when you're in a transition process, you really do want to come up with the ideal in your mind first so that you know what you're striving for. Because what happens is we get stuck in the chaos of what's already going on and we can't really see our way out because we're like, you're in it, and
Right.
it's like, feels like you're in a washing machine all the time. You're just kind of
Right.
like going along with the flow and the flow
Yeah.
is a little chaotic. And so the first thing is to map out, okay, if in 2023, I choose with clarity, certainty to go, okay, I'm going one flight a month and the rest of the time is business, or even to opt out of flying at all, that, that's something that is there. If that were the case, do you have clarity on the number you would need to be generating every month? And you don't have to share the number here.
Yeah, I do.
But you're cleared.
Absolutely.
Okay. And how far of a gap is that for you in terms of where you're at now and where that would need to be?
I have not too far. Not too far. However, it would be shifting incomes.
Yes.
So it's like not far financially. However, if I'm shifting incomes, it's like kind of opposite, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. So you'd reverse, have more income coming in from coaching.
However, yes, I wouldn't say however. And it wouldn't be that hard.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be that hard.
Okay. Tell me what it would take. Let's see where you're at in knowing the path.
I had 1 to 2 clients consistently, either new clients or consistent clients a month, it'd be fine.
Okay. So that's all that's keeping you held back.
That's it.
Okay.
I have no lead generation, which I'm sure we're going to get into. So
yeah.
I don't have a lead generation or a funnel right now. And so to get new clients.
Yeah.
And it's also, there's a mindset component that I'm very well aware of that has to do with money that I'd say I go back and forth with a lot. So it's not that much. It's really not that much.
Okay. Tell me that mindset component that you're already consciously aware of.
I cannot pinpoint what it is. I can tell you what I know, which is I have this aversion towards asking for money. Mm-hmm. I have an aversion towards asking for business. A lot of my clients are referral based or word of mouth. Mm-hmm. So I don't really generate. I don't know what my 1 + 1 = money is.
Yeah.
I don't know that formula for me. I know, generally speaking, as a coach, as an entrepreneur in business, the type of coach that I am, speaking engagements, doing the hustle. However, I tried a lot of that. I have been an entrepreneur for a very, very long time, over a decade. And some things work, some things don't. And there were a lot of things that I could have done and I should have done, you know what I mean? I could go down that rabbit hole. So I just want something that works for me. And also with me, it's a lot of lack of doing it again and again. 1 and 2, it was, I changed niches.
Yeah.
Because I've evolved. I've evolved too. So a lot of the things that I started with, and now it's like, I feel with what I'm focusing now on my business, it's starting to come full circle and it's more of a complete package. So the money pieces, I don't feel confident.
Yeah.
I'm confident in asking and it's not clear. And so I've come up with do it yourself passive income streams in my business.
Right.
But I'm not marketing it. I'm like, I have enough content. I have enough products and services that I could be every week offering something different or once a month. And I just don't.
Yeah. Well, okay. You just gave me tons for us to work with. So let's start there. So first I want to say, everyone listen to episode number 3. If you have not yet, the Zone of Manifestation Business Scaling Roadmap. So this is really important for everyone to detect for themselves where they are on the roadmap. Of course, if you're on a biz breakdown session with me, I'll help you out. I'd say for you, zone 1 is manic imposter zone. Zone 2 is over deliver and undercharge zone, which is where 80 to 90% of pre-6-figure entrepreneurs are. Number 3 is value yourself more, where you start to go I'm not working this hard to make money. I'm going to up level and delegate. And then number 4 is the zone of manifestation, which is the sweet spot where you're like, oh, leads are coming my way. I've got great lead gen strategies. I know my zone of genius. I'm flowing. Everything's scaling. Feels great, right? And that's where we all want to get to. And so in yours, I can see really clearly that over deliver and undercharge zone going on. And here's where you have really scattered brand identity. And so when you say like, when you're giving all of the options of ways to work with you and then changing niches, of course it's confusing and it's hard. It's really hard to sell when you're in that space.
For
And
sure.
the reason you don't have confidence is because you're not sure what you're selling.
Yes.
So it's impossible for people to come and buy something from you when you have scattered identity around your brand. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it makes complete sense. It makes complete sense. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So always, first thing is recognition. Then we go like, okay, now what do we do about it? I highly recommend for people who are in this zone number 2 to not have more than one option until they get to 6 figures. Right. And so, and it might not be 6 figures, but it's a significant income that allows you to have consistency in your monthly profitability. That way, if in your position, let's say, like, oh, I can quit my job if I choose to, and I can be full-time in my business. And that's where, I like the 6-figure mark. It might be less for some people. It depends on where you live and all those things. It might be more for some people, but you got to get clear on what that number is and then go, okay. And I'm going to give an example here that's going to be relatable to you in your mind is like, imagine, what airline do you fly for?
American.
Okay. So let's imagine American, when you go up to the desk, some days they have one service, but then other days they have a different service. And they're like, oh, sometimes we fly here, but then other times we don't. Sometimes we charge for luggage. Sometimes we don't. Right. Sometimes we have flight attendants. Sometimes we don't. You'd be like, I'm going to another freaking airline. Right. So they have consistency. They have brand identity. People know exactly what they're going to get. And so you've got to create the exact same thing in your business, and you've got to get really business minded about it instead of hobby minded about it.
Right.
A hobby mindset about a business is like, I'll throw some stuff out and see what sticks. I'll play with this. Right. Oh, and then someone will come into my experience, and because they need a different service than I offer, I'll change everything I offer. Right.
Right.
Does that resonate?
Yeah, the last part for sure it does. Absolutely. I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I could do this.
Yeah. So first, what we want to do when we're in this zone is detect zone of genius. And zone of genius mixed with values is how I do it with people. I go like, what's your zone of genius? What do you absolutely love to do? That's always going to be related to your values. And when you're playing into those, it gets really easy to start to build a brand. So first, let's say there, of the things you've offered. So I know that you've written book, you have done one-on-one groups. You said retreats are in the future. Yeah, I haven't done them yet, but have you done VIP intensives already or no?
I have done VIP intensives. When I did work with a different niche, when I worked with young daughters, I did do like a retreat weekend, but it was like, it was kind of like a two-day event.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. So you've done a lot. You've tested it all out.
I've done webinars. I've done master classes. I've done before. I've done. It wasn't really a podcast. It was like an internet. It was like a radio call where you'd call in every week and people would come in. So I've name it. I've probably done it.
Right. So really
different niches sometimes,
and then have a hard time charging what you're worth for it.
When I was younger, I mean, I'm still young. When I would say about 10 years ago, I had a really hard time. I think I struggled throughout the whole thing. Now I charge more. I just know a lot of people, and my perception, right? Because it is my perception, a lot of people can't afford it. So I don't offer as much.
When you say they can't afford it, meaning the program you've created or coaching in general?
Like my coaching.
Okay. So yes, definitely perception. You're just finding people to confirm your belief.
Right. Exactly. And I could see where I was, like the clientele that I was attracting, obviously, either doesn't value personal development to the same degree, or they couldn't because they were too young, or because they, what have you, different reasons. But yeah.
Okay. And where are you finding those people now?
I just stopped. I just stopped. I don't offer. I haven't offered. It's been about a year.
So it's basically just people referring to you, and that's the only way of people coming in. And when they refer to you, why do they refer people to you?
Or past clients.
Okay.
All over the board. I've done sometimes relationship stuff.
Okay.
Entrepreneurs, a lot of entrepreneurs that want to shift their mindset, want to figure out their purpose, want to figure out some clarity. I've had couples come to me where I've worked individually with them and together. I have worked with not so much health, not so much that. A lot of my clients, it could be family issues, communication issues. I've had clients come to me for money issues, like figuring out how to manage and budget their money. I've had to set up a system for that. So it's kind of
all over the place. Yeah. 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 And I want to say this, and you're not alone. So, you come on here for me to call you out to highlight that many people have this issue. So, and whenever I do a biz breakdown session, I go to the person's, their social links, their website, all the things.
Sure.
And it was interesting because when I went to yours, I'm like, I'm not sure what to title you as because I can't quite understand exactly what it is that you're doing, which to me indicates instantly scattered brand identity. And I just go, let's get you clear.
Right.
That's the first step.
I will say that I did this year get more clarity, and I just, because I have the lack of time and a lot of the lack of inspiration, because I was taking a long break. When I did become a flight attendant, I kind of did, and then I fell out of my business, or I just was like, I'm tired of this, I'm going to continue doing this. And then last year I did well because I had a company hire me as a coach for the whole year, so I did well.
Got it.
And I was their mindset coach. So
that's great. Did you enjoy it?
I was great. Yes.
Okay.
I did. Okay. And then I can go into that a little bit more. Briefly, it's different when an individual comes to you for personal development than when it's involved in a package deal. Yeah. Because there's a little bit more, obviously, of inspired action versus, okay, I'm going to do this, and then it falls off. So it was great for a little bit, but I could see that towards the end of the year, it was a lot harder to get people to engage because they weren't as invested, right?
Yeah.
So I did enjoy it if people are invested. I did get clarity. So what I was saying is I did get clarity with, now I know my platform where I want to take it is now developing legacy leaders. Okay. And my 3 pillars are going to be expand your mindset, communicate authentically, and master your money. So that's kind of now where I'm like, okay, how can I get everything that I have and put those into these pillars? Because I did do a restructure, and I'm like, okay, what can I do? Who do I deal with? And how does that look like? So that's kind of where my platform is heading towards now.
Okay. When you say legacy leaders, give me clarity on what that means. Who are legacy leaders?
Right. So I actually did recently, I was like, okay, what is a legacy leader and what does that look like? So I did have to go through that myself. So this is going to be an individual who wants to master all areas of life. This is going to be someone who does want to make money and income doing what they love, not just, I'm going to get job. I just love money and I'm just going to get the next job, or I'm going to get the next job. Okay. Someone that wants to make a difference, someone that wants to leave a legacy, someone that's not just for family, but also that wants to make a difference in their community or wants to change the world, in their community. It could be they have a larger vision, but as of right now, right? Community. Create a life better than they can imagine. Someone that wants to, as I mentioned, make a difference, break cycles from the past, surpass traumas, communicate obviously authentically in their relationships, build a foundation that includes individuals that will support, obviously, and challenge. Someone who I know, because I've done the niche thing before, where you look and you're like, okay, what does that look like? Really? Is that a woman, or is that a man, or is that an entrepreneur? And so it kind of, I can't tell you because I've had both, right? It's not really a man or a woman. It's not either one.
Okay.
I don't know if that helps. I know
it does. And it continues to further my thinking of like, you got to get real clear. And what you're talking about is avatar. So you want to get really clear on your avatar, and the narrower your avatar and the narrower your niche, the faster you can build. And so I think something for you that's, it's interesting because I think about even back to my beginning DeMartini days, it was like, I was comparing myself to him a lot, and he's 45, 50 years into business, right? And I would be like, I've got to create everything. Even my initial name of my company was Amanda Barriente's Institute, like DeMartini Institute.
Oh, how funny.
And I put stuff out there, and I was like you. I was like, I want to do everything. And it was like, oh my God, I'm going to kill myself doing this because like it's so hard to market this way. And so, I want you to play with making a list of the things you absolutely love to do in your business. And when I say who you love to work with, the results you love to get, and start there. And, just like DeMartini says, I say this to my people all the time too, start with what you know and let what you know grow. Right. And that's your number one starting point, because that's going to be the fastest path to cash. And the more cash infusion you have, the more you can start to experiment and explore and get clear and fine tune your brand. But you don't want to start with a brand that's all over the place and just kind of like you want it to be so clear who you're working with that it makes it easy for you. And what will happen with that mindset piece you were talking about that gets stuck with promoting yourself and selling, it gets real easy to sell when you know exactly who you're talking to, exactly who you're looking for, and exactly what you're offering. And what I mean by what you're offering is the transformational outcomes. It also gets easier to sell at higher prices when you have a transformational outcome. So earlier when you said, I am finding people who can't afford it, it's because they don't see the value yet. Right. It's not because they can't actually afford it. It's because they don't see the value yet.
I see.
Right.
That, for sure.
And so we want to get so clear on what the results are. And so if you were to call it something like legacy leaders, which I would want to dig into that more, because it's not clear what that is. Yeah. Like for example, the Woman Entrepreneur podcast, you know exactly if you're in the right place when you get to the podcast. When people are scrolling through podcasts, they're like, oh, I know that's for me if I'm a woman entrepreneur. And so they can then listen. Then really it just comes down to, do they resonate with the way that I do things and who I bring on and what I talk about? Yeah. Right. So you want to have something that's really clear like that in all of your programs and offerings. And I would really recommend fine tuning down to one until you have it humming, flowing, leads coming in. And so what happens is, your first steps. So first steps, clarity on avatar, name of program. And I'd say clarity on brand, right? First of all, like what's the brand? And the brand is built around the results that you're getting for a specific avatar. Right. And then you start creating all of your content around that. And then you start speaking in social media posts, in everything you put out, in your books, in the way that you talk to people, and who you're broadcasting to in your referral network. Even like those people that have been sending you people, you want to reach out to them and say, hey, I've got this program. It's XXX, XYZ. Right. And here's what I offer. Do you know anyone? And then you want to start really getting out there and lead gen. And I would say in 2023, you could absolutely go 6 figures. You have enough years of experience in doing entrepreneurship, and you have the skill set. It's just fine tuning and getting laser focused. Okay. Does all that make sense to start with?
It does. It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So another question I have for you, and I don't know how attached you are to using your name as your brand. Are you open to shifting to something that would?
I mean, I'm open. Yeah, I'm open. I think I just haven't found something that's.
Yeah. The reason I say it is because this is another thing I learned in branding over the years too. It's like people aren't searching my name. They don't know my name, right? Especially Agree. Amanda Barriente's, like people don't even know how to spell it. They don't know how to say it. They're never going to search it. So I'm making it real hard on myself. Right. My original website was Dr. Barriente's. No one can spell it. They don't know it, right? Yeah. And so I started to think like, I got to think from the user's perspective, because in the end, they really don't give a crap about me. They care about the results I can get them.
For sure.
Exactly. And so it's not, there's nothing wrong with using your name. It just takes longer to build a brand.
It does. 100%. Yeah.
And so think about that. Yeah. And it could be that you keep your name, but then your program gets branded really powerfully with hashtags. Right. And then that works too. But just make sure that whatever it is that you create in a program is really, really clear. And I'd say start with outlining a program. I recommend, and this is just because it's the way I did it that worked really well. I had a 12-week program. Yeah. And it was high cost. And when I say high, it's funny I say that here, and I need to make sure that I clarify, because I think people are like, oh my God, I can never work with Dr. Amanda. It was like $97, right? Like it's impossible to build to get to six figures, especially in your first year with a $97 program. Like I do not recommend that.
I agree.
You have to have way too big of an audience. And so if you're going to do that, awesome, do that a little down the road. So I like to teach, especially for people who are, only, especially like you're looking for a couple people, you said would give you the money you need, start there with the one-to-one model, then move to one-to-few, which would be masterminds, and one-to-many would be something like online courses.
Right.
And so, I mean, because you have the practice with all of these, I would say start with either a small group coaching package that's high level, or one-to-one, and map it out as like a 12-week program, could be a year-long program. Most people aren't willing to commit at that level unless it's a mastermind, like one-on-one coaching for a year. A lot of people, unless they've worked with you for a while, they don't like to commit at that level, unless they know what they're going to get from you. So I want to just throw all those things out there first and see, because it was a lot.
And I will say this, that I'm looking at my cheat sheet, right? Not my cheat sheet, but it's what I had been brainstorming. I went through like all my coaches stuff and all the seminars and stuff and all the things that I've done before on business planning. And I was like, okay, let's hunker down. And I think like this is the time anyway to do that. I love to do that before the new year. I actually feel like I'm behind. I'm like, I should, I'm shitting on myself. I'm like, I should have my plan. And to some degree I do, but when it's actually cut, clear, concise, it's not. Yeah. So, I do have, I put together, I was like, okay, I want groups. This is what I'm looking at. And then I do have the only people that can book me one-on-one will be previous clients for like a one-time session. And then I do have under packages, I have 12 sessions, I have 26 sessions, and then I have VIP intensives, which would be, a certain amount. So I actually kind of, we're speaking the same language.
Yeah, we are, except for that's too many offerings. You have way too many offerings.
Right. Well, this was my brainstorm. So
I'm just saying this in a loving way, because I see people stuck in zone 2 for decades. Like some people never get to full-time business because they stay stuck in zone 2, and they just go like, I over deliver, I undercharge, I over deliver, undercharge.
So do you think then, like for previous clients, don't even offer a one-time session?
You can for previous, because you're not marketing to that anywhere. You're not broadcasting that you offer that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be marketing. So, I could see the two things that I would get stuck on, because I would have, like, if you want to work with me and then you go to my website, you could see that. But as far as what I want to market, it would be the group.
Okay, how much are you going to, here's a few red flags that I noticed. Yeah. If you're flying and don't have a consistent thing going on, that's going to be hard to manage. Yeah. And then also the cost of it, and do you have a big enough audience? Like, if you don't have a big enough following yet,
I'm not going to get enough people
you don't have enough people to make it fly. And then all of a sudden you're going like, I'm taking all this time and I'm scheduling around it, but I'm only making $500 a month from it. That's not worth it. It's not worth your time. It's not going to get you there. I'd say for you, because you have experience speaking, start doing speaking, because you can also schedule that around travel. Yeah. And I would say speaking and one-on-one, it would be the way I would go if I were in your position. If I had a job,
package deal.
Yeah. I would do a 12 package, and that's what I would almost exclusively promote, that, and then start building a speaking gig on the side. Then what will happen is, as you have a clear brand identity over the course of this year, you'll get experience. You'll start attracting more people through the package. You can also speak. And then over the course of the year, build your brand. Then next year will look very different. Then you could potentially have a group, but right now you don't have enough. I don't know what your following is, but it doesn't sound like because of scattered brand identity, you probably don't have a following that's big enough.
I do, and I've had like the hardcore followers. Obviously, they've been my clients for like over
they'll stay forever.
Yeah. So there is some following, but for me to make the group work, I was doing the numbers. It would have to be like I need at least 7 to 10 people consistently.
Okay, and to get
price point, and I'm looking at about, if I did a special because the year's over, whatever, then it would be 200 and like 250, but ideally it would be like 450 approximately, give or take.
You're saying per month for a group.
Per month.
And okay. And so
that's what I was kind of looking at.
So the issue there,
I was like, what is that going to cost me?
Yeah.
With what I want to offer, and how much is the profit going to be? And so for me to even make a profit, it would have to be like 7 to 10 people at least.
Right. And here's the thing, to find the 7 to 10 people, you're looking at a certain percentage of a following. So you've got to have like at least 10x that following that are consistent, avid fans who have never done anything with you who want to be in that group.
Right.
So that's the way I want you to think about it. And everyone listening, I hear this a lot where people they have like ideas about building a course or having a group, and it's like, awesome, do it. If you don't have a big enough following yet, it's going to be an uphill battle because now you're looking at how do I create enough leads, and the ROI is lower. So it takes as much energy and effort for you to find a one-on-one client that's going to pay you higher dollar for that 12-week than it is to find the 7 people that are going to pay the same amount overall for that period of time. Right. It's way easier to find a one-on-one client. Then you also only have one person to schedule at that time. You can do it around your travel schedule. So I just encourage you to think about those things as you're building it out.
Yeah, no, I will. Okay.
So potentially a group could be for an upcoming year in your business. And I'm saying this to everyone listening. You really want to reverse engineer from your current lifestyle. Like, let go of everything you've ever heard from all the coaches out there who are highly successful, because what happens is we get a whole bunch of ideas in our mind because we're like, they're doing it this way, they're doing it that way, right?
And it is really daunting. You can't do it because you have this person and that might contradict from this person, and then you have another person that throws in the loop for something completely different. You can't. You have to focus on whatever we're doing, right? Individually.
So you got to get really laser focused. And for me, even now, I still only offer a few things. I don't offer, and I'll keep adding courses as I go, but I'm still offering only a few things. So people know Amanda is for me, it's going on the speaker market. It's like I'm, branding myself really clearly: money, mindset, manifestation, business scaling. When I'm on the speaker market, it's like they're looking for the best money mindset and mindset coach on the planet. That's how I'm like thinking of myself. And I go like, I'm the world renowned money healer. I help you break through your unconscious money blocks to get to the next level. And here, what I see for you is it's like, when we get stuck in that scattered energy of putting out too much, we just feel overwhelmed and business doesn't thrive. And then we're like, is this even worth it? And then we don't know who to talk to. And it just feels shitty, And so, that breakthrough for you is to go like, actually, it gives me freedom. If I were to find, let's say, what just to throw a number out there, what number do you think you would charge for a 12-week program right now?
I was charging $5,000 for 3 months, which is about the same. So it'd be around there, if not a little bit more.
Okay. So then let's see. So 5,000. And do you have an income goal in mind?
I hadn't even gotten that far yet. I mean, I always do, but I hadn't worked out the numbers yet. Okay.
Let's just say it's 75K, right? Yeah. Just for fun. Yeah. Okay. So divided by 5,000, and I was going to do this in a second, but that's 15 people. That's all you need for the whole freaking year. 15. Okay. Let's even say that you find 2 a month. That's 10K income. Okay. That's 24. But do you see how clear it makes it when you go, I'm looking for 2 people for this one program versus I'm looking for people here. It does
feel better.
Right? Your brain.
Oh my God, yeah, it does feel better. It does feel better because 15 people is 15 people.
Right. Like your brain can focus on that. It can't focus on 10 things. It gets confused and then it's deer in the headlights and nothing happens.
Yeah.
Does that resonate?
That does make sense. No, yeah. It does.
Yeah.
It does. And it's not so much like it's exhausting.
Yeah.
And I think I know that's why I think with my business before I've let it go. I was like, you know what? Not that I'm never going to do this, but and that's why I just took referrals and my past clients. I'm like, sure, we can book a session, but I wasn't promoting. I haven't promoted anything. I mean, my book barely.
Right. But you know why you're not promoting? Because it's confused. You're confused and overwhelmed in your mind.
I'm so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I'm so overwhelmed. It's overwhelming because, to some degree, yes, I've been in business for so long and I've been an entrepreneur for so long and I've hired coaches that I'm still in lifetime programs currently for over a decade.
Yeah.
And it's exhausting. Whereas if someone new comes on board and they're like, well, I'm just going to do this. And then it works for them. And then it's frustrating for me because I'm like, I know so much, that
Well, you're getting in your own way by creating too much because you haven't narrow your focus to expand your freedom, right? I want you to live by that in 2023. Narrow your focus to expand your freedom.
My freedom. Got it.
Yeah.
I'm going to write that down.
And that is like key. Like, oh my God, when you start to do that, you will really experience a big shift, right? And instead of going from this is the zone 2 mindset belief. If I help everyone, have tons of offering and don't charge too much, I'll get a lot of clients.
Right. But if you market to everybody, you market to nobody.
Right. And also what that turns into is crazy burnout and no money in the bank.
Yeah. I've been there, done that.
Yeah. Right. So what we want to switch to is the mindset belief. First, I'm willing to narrow my focus and play with increasing my prices.
I'm willing to narrow my focus and expand my prices.
Yes.
Okay,
let's say it again. I'm ready and willing to narrow my focus.
I'm willing to narrow my focus and
play with increasing my prices.
I can't even remember. And play with increasing my prices. That's fine with me. Okay.
Well, and you know why it'll feel okay to up level your prices is because now that you have one program and a clear brand identity starting to be created, and even in the seat of your mind right now, I can see it. Like you just took a sighing breath. I could see it. Like you're having a visceral response to going like, oh my God, I don't have to do it all anymore.
Yeah. It's exhausting.
It is. It is. And it's easy when you make it easy on yourself. It's hard when you make it hard.
Yeah, there's the process. Okay.
Yeah. Right?
Settling in, yeah.
So you feel that release and you feel the energy shift. And the reason here is it's so much easier for your brain to focus on a few things. And I say even one, like focus on the one thing, than it is to focus on 7 or 8. I'll tell you this, every time I cut something off in my business, I have an explosive growth in my business because it's exactly that. All of a sudden my scattered energy, my doing too much, my being overwhelmed shifts into like, focused laser energy. And so I got to tell myself this too, because as creators, it's fucking fun to create.
Yeah.
Right.
I have so much content.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, I could hire an assistant and have stuff put out for like at least 3 to 5 years.
Right. Well, and
without creating new things.
Totally. Here's the goal. Get to where you have revenue coming in so that you can keep having that time to have fun and create more and more and more. The thing is, until you get the revenue goal down, you're going to be constantly stuck in a cycle of quote unquote trying and struggling and pushing and forcing and always feeling overwhelmed. And when we create from that place, we create businesses that are not going to be financially successful in the long term or viable or fun. And screw that. Why would we create a business that's not fun? It's why you've had that feeling of like, should I just stop doing this?
Yeah. I mean, and I have, because I'm like, I've gotten burnt out at least twice. And I'm just like, I'm so tired. And then when I became a flight attendant, I was like, I remember this year I took a time off, I have vacation, a paid vacation.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't even remember what this felt like. I don't.
Yeah.
And even now, like I look at, so I'm gone 15 days, half of the month.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Yeah.
I have 15 days. And I'm like, just realized this week, I'm like, I've been working every day.
Yeah. Too much.
Every day. Yeah. Every day. Because I'm working either as a flight attendant or I'm working on my business. So I'm working every day. And I'm like, in what world and what mind? And not to say, because we know the DeMartini world, not to say that I don't love what I do. Because it doesn't always feel like work. But when it's something it's like when I am in the hamster wheel of going and nothing's producing or nothing's there's no revenue, there's no result. There are no results, especially income. It's exhausting.
Of course it is. And so Linda and everyone else listening, get clear on your business goal and reverse engineer from there. Okay. So here's an issue. When we treat it like a hobby, we just kind of think I'm going to put a whole bunch of stuff out there and somehow it will magically turn into a productive, profitable business. It doesn't work that way. We got to organize our energy, our mindset, our habits, our being, our state of being around being a business owner. And I'll say there's even an up level from going, it's like hobby to business to company.
Right.
Like lately I've been noticing in my languaging, I've been saying my company, and it just started happening as I'm like scaling and I'm putting, it's been really cool to watch. I've been playing with like adding team members and doing, you know, this whole like real big, like, okay, I'm ready to scale to like a big next level. And I hear myself in my languaging, all of a sudden I say my company, and it's because my mindset has shifted. It's really fun. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I know I've shifted out of hobby.
Yes.
And I started going into business probably a few years ago. And I was like, no, this is my business. I am an entrepreneur. I am a CEO. This is my business. And now I want to be more serious and I want to take it to the next level. Because you're right. I do want to look at it being my company, and I do want to hire team members. Yeah. I mean, it's not that I've never hired an assistant before, but I want something.
Yeah. Well, if you don't have consistent income, you can't be doing much in business development. And so, okay, so let's get, I know you and I could talk for a long time. And you know, Linda, this is awesome and helpful. Thank you. Because I know many people are in your position where they've had a business for quite a while where they're like, oh my God, I love it.
And I'm just going to say to your audience, because it is debilitating. Like, there are days that I literally have a stack of my books right here, and I don't know how many times just recently, because I am taking it seriously, because this is the life that I am co-creating, and it's never always easy. Mm-hmm. You know, I've been so overwhelmed and stressed and exhausted, and I've cried so much. You're not alone. Like, I've been in business for over 10 years doing this. And I'm consistently watching other entrepreneurs like making it, and, you know, by making it, it's just like, I just want to make the same amount of money I was making in my corporate job.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know how many times that I'm like, I'm not going to do this again. I'm not going to.
I'm telling you, and I know you know this, it's 100% possible. I'm no doubt in my mind that you can do it. You just need a little guidance. Right. Yeah. So that's this session. I want to encourage everyone here. And this is shameless plug for the NFA Money Mama Mastermind. And I realize I don't spell this. I realize people don't always know how to spell mama. It's M-A-M-A. Yeah. So if you go to NFA Money Mamas, MAMAS.com, get in before the end of this year, because I'm doubling the price in 2023. And it is freaking killer. Every woman in there, our goal is to get you to 6 figures plus. Some women are already there. Some women are moving beyond that. And it's like, we are a powerhouse group of women who are going to help you with exactly what Linda's talking about. And so it's like, don't miss out. I've been there. I was on food stamps in 2018 when I met Linda.
Flight attendant. I got food stamps.
Yeah.
Right. I have no shame. I'm like,
no, well, and it's like, but this is the thing. I've gone from that to 6 figures in my first year of business in 2019. And I've made money every year, and I scale, and I have a brand identity. I have a top 5% global podcast. I have a following. It's growing. It's scaling. Like, I'm on my way to 7 figures, right? And that's possible. And the reason I give you my story is because it's possible for every single one of you listening.
And let me just share this, because I'm going to share with you what's really on my whole agenda. Okay. That's just me. That was me before, you know, we've talked about how I'm going to be narrowing. Let me tell you what's on my mind. Okay. This has been on my mind. I've got the monthly group, podcast, interviews, workshops, oracle cards, next book, my serendipity course, retreats, speaking. I mean, literally all of that. And I have to write everything down. I'm like, okay, which one do I want to focus on first?
Yeah.
And that was me, just what I said earlier with the groups and the VIP. That was me narrowing.
Yes.
That was me narrowing.
I know.
So I just want to share that, because
oh, and I know everyone resonates. I know people resonate. And so you got to start with one thing to bring in the revenue. And that, I think, is where my success came from, is that I started with one program. I sold it like hotcakes. I literally didn't overcomplicate it. I had a spreadsheet with a console, and I would walk them through the 12 weeks on the spreadsheet. I didn't have a landing page. I didn't have a whole bunch of shit built out. Like, don't overthink it, everyone. At the beginning stages, stay simple, stay focused. And so let's hear from you, action step between now and when I check on you. What are your action steps based on what we've talked about today on this Biz Breakdown session?
Yeah, I think I'm actually even thinking of getting rid of a lot of my pages, even on my website. Just scratch that, have one page.
Yep. Well, and let me don't even bother taking the time to do that right now, because most people aren't going to your website. I'm telling you, that's where we overthink. We go, oh, I'll get rid of all this stuff, but then you spend 2 weeks doing it. And that takes away time from finding the people to be in the one program.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. We distract ourselves with all kinds of bullshit in our business.
Because we see so much, we want so much.
Yeah.
It's not even the shiny object syndrome. It's just, this is doable. Like, yeah, and you can do all these things, but it's like, do you want to go 2 inches in 10 different directions?
Taking on too
much. Miles.
Yeah. Yeah. So then for you, I want to make sure you're clear on action steps. So tell me.
I'm going to, that was me scrolling around, not answering your question. So I'm going to get clear on my package. I'm going to get clear on my package. I'm working on one-on-one. I'm going to get clear on the avatar.
Okay.
I'm going to break down the 12-week session, what that looks like, which I already have, like, at least the first 6 sessions. I already know what that looks like.
Okay.
And creating the content around attracting that avatar. Maybe coming up with, I could even come up with, like, every month a theme on what kind of problems my avatar has.
That's all awesome. And direct outreach for leads.
Yeah, direct outreach. I actually have, I was thinking of contacting my past clients already.
Good. And then I want you to think of ways. Okay. So avatar, package, direct contact first, then content creation. Because again, remember, like, if you don't have a huge following, the content you're putting out there, if it's only getting seen by 5 people, then it's not doing it. You need to keep doing it to build your brand over time, but it's not your first focus. And again, this is another place I see a lot of new entrepreneurs, or not even new entrepreneurs, pre-6-figure, who have changed their niche a lot. I see them creating content thinking that that's going to attract everything, and it helps, and you want to build your brand over time. But the number one thing that you must be doing every single day is contacting new people about your package or your program. Okay. So it's like, I want you to be thinking, how can I talk to at least 5 new people every single work day? And start promoting my package or my program, and keep it simple. You don't need to build a whole bunch out. Your goal is to get them on a call, to have a powerful conversation with a powerful transformation in that call. And then you give them literally, I have, after this, I'll email it to you. Or actually, anyone here, go to my NFA Money Mama website. I have a 1-sheet on there that shows everything the program includes, and they can download it right on the thing. They know exactly what they're going to get. And it's like a simple 1-sheet. That's all. I don't want you to think about the web page or anything, just that 1-sheet. So go to NFA Money Mamas, MAMAS.com. Okay. You'll see it on there. That's all I want you to create. You could literally recreate that in at the most 4 hours. Yeah. Okay. And then you've got that for consult, and you talk to people and have powerful transformations. And I know you can find 15 people for that program. And that's if you choose to charge $5K. After your first 5, you might choose to up it to $75K. Yeah. Or $7,500. Yes. I'm like, yeah. Yes, sure. $100,000 per session.
Celebrity on me, thank you.
Yes. Okay. So let's share with everyone where they can find you. And I hope, I know everyone listening just got so many massive tips, takeaways, and feelings of resonance. Oh, they absolutely did. Because Linda, I'm telling you, I've never met an entrepreneur who doesn't struggle with everything you're talking about. Some people move through it faster. Some people move through it slower, but they all experience these things. So you're not alone. And thank you for being willing to share.
Yeah. And so I do have a question. Okay. So I know we're going to talk about the next thing. So 5 people a day, just so that it's ingrained in my brain. Yeah. 5 people a day. Yeah. I can have to set up consultations, making sure that every day on my social media that I am attracting, or that is my goal, to attract people to have consultations with me.
Yeah, so the 2 separate strategies would be when you're putting content out there, it's like a passive attraction based strategy. Yeah, we're talking direct strategy, where it's you're either reaching out to old clients, you're reaching out to referral partners, you're going to a networking event. It could be an online networking event or an in-person networking event. Gotcha. You're getting on a Facebook group where your avatar clients are hanging out, and you're commenting, hanging out, and then you want to generate as much direct contact as you possibly can. And that is the number one job of every entrepreneur first.
Okay.
And once you get that flowing and you start to have income, then either you're still doing it yourself or you're delegating that. Because if you have no lead gen system, you have no business.
Right. Basically, which has been my, I let everything go. I was like, there's no lead generation. They're like,
right.
Like I have this stuff. I'm like, I'm not creating.
Because the reality does not exist where we create shit and people just magically come to us. Yes, I teach law of attraction, and that does get created after you build momentum in that direction and have enough of a reputation to keep that momentum going. That you got to start the train going first by having direct contact and getting results and getting people to start talking to other people, getting your brand to start attracting people. It doesn't happen at the very beginning because you just don't have any magnetism yet.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So share with everyone where they can find you. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see Linda's information up here, but you share the best places to hang out.
I mean, you could literally Google me and then you find everything. You could find, if you put my name in and Google, you're good. On Instagram, it is my name with my middle name. So it's at linda.Xochitl. It's an Aztec name, .Avalos. That's the same on pretty much almost all my social media handles are the same. If not, they're all intertwined and connected.
Okay.
Lindaavalos.com. You'll see a bunch of testimonials on there. I'm on everything. So.
Awesome. Okay. And so if they type in just your Linda Avalos, they'll find you into Google. Okay. Because I know most people aren't going to be able to spell your name, your middle name.
Yeah. If you put Linda Avalos, you know what? I haven't Googled that one. I'm sure you'll find me.
Okay, I'll spell it for everyone here, just for the listeners on the podcast if they can't see the screen. So Linda Avalos is Linda, Linda Avalos, AVALOS.com. So go there for website, and Instagram, it's Linda, LINDA Xochitl, which is spelled XOCHITL, XOCHITL.Avalos. AVALOS. So go ahead and find Linda there. Check her out. And, I want everyone to know Linda is a freaking rock star. This is where, to me, like my heart goes out to everybody I know who has freaking incredible work in the world and doesn't yet have the traction for the brand because people don't find you. Because I've worked with you and I've gotten to do stuff with Linda back and forth where we do breakdown sessions together, and like, holy shit, she's good at what she does. So I want everyone to know that. It's just now like getting the world to see it in a way where they understand what it is you can do and the results you can create. Then that's where you get to play in the big leagues and charge the big bucks and have a huge following and grow your brand and expand, because people are like, I know you're the expert at this. Right. Yeah.
No, thank you so much. That's very sweet of you. Thank you for saying. I didn't know if you were done.
Oh, yes.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Yeah. I feel like, the world's best kept secret, or etc. So
I think so many people feel that way, and it really is it's a branding and a magnetism and an identity thing. And again, I'm going to leave the key takeaway for everyone today: narrow your focus to expand your freedom.
My focus to expand my freedom. Yes.
Yeah.
I got it.
All right. Thank you for being here, Linda. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us for an hour. We appreciate you. I'm sending you huge love. I love doing these sessions. Of course, you know that if you want to come on one, just go to the womanentrepreneur.podcast.com, and on the top of the page is a button that says Get Your Biz Breakdown Session. Come hang out with me. Let's chat. You can tell these are always very heart-centered, helping you out, you highlighting your brand. And I'm here for you. I freaking love you. I love that you're here. I love getting to help you. This is what I love to do in the world, is help you have money breakthroughs so that you can create a life and a business of freedom, joy, in your zone of genius, doing what you love. So that's it for today. I'll see you next time. And until then, NFA, money making high fives.